Hello, Star Wars CCG fans. Garrett Larson here, Dead Body, on the forums and GEMP. Just getting ready to stream Mark versus Brad for the retro event Premiere through Endor. Both of them are 4-0 right now. Mark is going to be playing Dark Side, just waiting for the game to kick up. Looks like they are both available in the lobby, so we should see a game getting started here pretty soon. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a ton of the retro stuff so far because I played through it already once, and I've been focusing on getting back into game shape. But I did play in the Premiere to Death Star 2 retro event at Nationals, and I'll be playing whatever retro event shows up at Worlds. I'm going to apologize in advance for any funky appearances on here with the setup. I'm still trying to get all this stuff going. Hopefully we can get it rolling and tweak this a little bit better while we get going. Looks like the game is up, so should be rolling out here in just a second. Thank you everybody for watching. You know, Star Wars, we've got a lot of great content creators, great people you can reach out and follow to learn more about the game. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook groups, we've got the swccgpc.org for information all about the game, seeing what's been happening if you're tuning in for retro stuff and waiting to, not sure if you want to jump into the deep end of the game as it sits now. But there's a lot of good stuff going on. So we've got Mark, whose Tecmo R is dark in this game. Brad is light. Both of them are 4-0. And Brad's been playing quite a bit, and all over the place, doing really well. So I've got a ISB Operations starting Twillick and Yavin Throne Room, Careful Planning. I'm assuming you're going to see a couple nudges coming nudging out here. And Imperial Justice on Coruscant to start. So stopping the generation there. Okay, that's an interesting play. Oh, just make it immune to revolution. Not a bad play. There's a nudge from reserve deck to the swamp. This is pretty straightforward. Oh, open-handed the nudge to get things rolling real quick. So Mark's gonna be a little force choked here as Brad drops Brad dropping a couple Twixes. This is getting Brad. I think Brad really liked his hand and just drawing a few to pick back up. But I mean, that's a huge activation bump right there. I mean, 9-3 right now. Brad's not giving up any icons and can just wait to see what Mark does. Mark going the same way, throwing down the Death Star, throwing down Fondor. All right, both of them opening hand, decent amount of activation, so we should be able to see stuff going on. Security precautions on the throne room just to even up that activation quickly. So this should be, well, both decks are going to be a little bit slow rolling. ISB is very much a control control-y deck, and throne room usually very reactive, so there's going to be a lot of trying to trying to wait for someone to get stuff going. And sorry, my Twitch just went a little nuts here, so let's see if we can. So Brad just draws some out of commission to get rid of the out of commission's gonna be big later, as Mark's gonna be wanting to retrieve ISB agents and won't have any, if Brad can keep that rolling. But other than that, just getting the activation going and keeping Brad off of cards. All right. Well, it looks like I apologize when I was trying to figure out why Twitch suddenly went nuts. We had a Revolution played and an Invader to cancel it right away, and Brad now going with Gunite as well, so giving up no icons and forcing Mark to pay more for any of his big guys, although with ISB, it's usually more little guys than big. You'll see, I expect we'll see Outer Rim Scouts galore here at some point, unless Mark's playing a real different version. Brad must have been looking for something, as he just gave up a reveal, searching for a nudge that he knew wasn't there. So finding out what was in his deck and then drawing to it. I'm betting in there. Oh, Monarch lost from Mark. Let's see what he gets here. EPP Obi, EPP Luke, Melos, Undertack, Sense Alter, Leia with Gun, Falcon, Weapon Lab, Yoda's Hut. What are you trying to push on us, Twaska? Don't forget the droids, draw their fire, Chief Chirpa's Hut. So Brad drew into a couple more Twixes, but he got burned on the Falcons. That's going to make it real hard for him to compete in space, unless he can figure out a way to get those back. Because that was probably, the Super Falcon was probably his big space package. All right, I haven't seen a TIE Defender used too much. I mean, they were always, before the Interceptors came out, they always felt like they should be really good, because the SFS cannons can go on them, but it was always kind of a struggle to get them really working, because they just tended to be too expensive. When you start paying 3 for the TIE, and then you've got to always save, 3+ for the guns, as Brad drops a couple more Twixes, because why the heck not? And Twaska probably to take out that nudge and start draining to get something going on, because he's got to do something, as the nudge randomly attacks Twas and fails miserably. So the ferocity of 1 means Twaska lives to very likely beat up a nudge right here. Oh, just moving the nudge away. All right. So nudges, usually creature rules. Creatures immediately attack each other. Nudges are selective creatures, so they don't attack each other while they're at the same site. So both players starting to try and start putting a little pressure on. I mean, this is going to be a slow game. We might have all of the battlegrounds that are going to come into play in play here. And I think Mark realizes that, and I think, oh, there's another Kessel. All right, so Mark's going to get another system in play. As we saw Brad lose weapon lev to the drain, which makes sense. You're not going to... ISB is not running any weapons. You might see a Vader with Saber or something like that, but you're not in this format. You're not running any weapons. Okay, so he's running ties without, or he just hasn't found the stuff for Sinar fleet systems. So there's a Victory class and a Dreadnought going to Kessel. I'm interested to see where this goes. These are... Mark's using some cards I don't... Dreadnoughts I remember, playing at times because they were solid Destiny 3 capital ships that, worked well with ties but gave you your hyperspeed and did a lot of stuff. So Mark consolidating at Kessel, I think, just to... Brad's got a lot of big guns in his hand, and I think he's a little worried that if Brad ended up with another ship, he could go real hard. Ooh, Kashyyyk from reserve. That's a little unfortunate. I'm betting Mark was really hoping to find that, and Drain 2 systems are not super common in this format, so getting that extra drain going would have been nice. Like, he's just kind of sitting behind the Kessel protection right now, with Kessel requiring Brad to have 6 ability to draw Battle Destiny there. But Brad's got a lot of characters in hand. Like, he can certainly make this happen. There's Obi-Wan. The nudges are going to attack and aim high. So once Mark flips, he's going to start paying to retrieve those ISB agents. But that's probably not going to be a huge issue. So the nudge attacks Obi-Wan and fails. So... And the other nudge attacks Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan there just fighting off nudges. And Destiny of 3 says Obi-Wan lives to nudge them probably just over one site, and there's no need to kill him right now, because if something happens and you lose that site and you can move the nudge back to take away the icons again, at least for a little while, because odds are if you lose the site, you probably, with ISB at least, they're probably going to be able to hold it. So Brad now ever so slightly getting ahead in the damage race, but it's still very early. This is a format, it's a lot slower to build. You saw players could only start with at most one effect on table. The objectives were the initial objectives. They didn't tend to put a lot of things out real quick. And also, this is with only being able to start one effect and not being able to run. I believe this is pre-Battle Order Battle Plans era as well. I'll be honest, I don't remember if those came out in Death Star 2 or in Endor. I know they were part of the starter decks there, but they definitely could shift the meta. But like 300 mains doesn't necessarily want to put them down. So this is Mark's hitting another system down, but he's still just not really doing a lot. Like, he's got a lot of cards in hand, and he's playing super cautious around the possible beatdown potential that absolutely exists in 300 mains. So he's throwing a few spies to the Yavin 4 War Room. Oh, and there's a Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, who was definitely a power card in this era. The ability to choke out characters and remove them during battle was huge. And this was, I mean, this was all before the cards we see and use a lot of, the Sniper Dark Strike combo and Sorry About the Mess combos. So you saw a Clash of Sabers earlier from Obi-Wan, or from the Nudge attacked Obi-Wan, and Chokelord Vader puts a serious crimp in what you can do. Like, losing that character mid-battle can be really rough, and especially with Throne Room, where this is definitely built around running a lot of things, as Brad Grimtosh is lost on Mark. Officer Evax, Bosk in the Tooth, Evader, another Chokelord Vader sense, Jabba, Vader's personal shuttle, Alter, and Imperial Barrier. So it looks like Mark had the sense and said, you know, you're not going to get anything out of this, so knock yourself out. And that's that one hurts. That's Grimtash and Monarch. Paying that 4 force and losing them to not get anything always kind of feels bad. So, but Brad's activating just 9, so he's saving some destiny. I think he's got to go after the ground pound there. Put a couple drains in just to, you know, you're not paying for it. Throw the damage out. Drain 1 at the swamp, and there goes an Outer Rim Scout, like I said, from reserve deck. I would expect Mark's probably got a Den of Thieves or 2 in there as well, as there goes an Endor, which is another system that he really would have liked to see. And another Tunnel Vision from Brad is going to be, he's trying to put the pieces together for, I think he's going to go after the beatdown. He had the Leia, he had the Han, he had the Luke. Like, that's a scary pile of dudes. And 16 force, that's enough to put them all out, because they cost you 13. So there's Luke getting barriered. I'm assuming we'll see a little bit of sense alter here. Yep, there's a sense. And now Mark, I assume, will alter. And Brad is going to sense. Now Mark's going to, I assume, sense. So Brad knew all that was coming. So I assume Brad, yep, there's the alter. Brad had the answer for that. So Brad's just going to have to draw on that sense. And he draws a 5, keeps it under Obi-Wan's ability. So barrier is canceled. Which, yeah, Brad, you know, you knew that was coming. That was the biggest thing with the Grimtash. And giving up a verify just to see where he's at. He's got 5 destiny, so he knows, because he's going to draw 3 of them for battle destiny here, he hopes. And there's the draw their fire. This could get a little ugly. Oh, Clashing Vader out. Yep, this is going to get bad. So, okay, did not throw down Han. Must be sitting on the, still having the Falcon. I assume we'll see a Skywalker's here instead then. And I mean, he's going to be 8 power plus destiny. So, and the 1 hits Lieutenant Pole, who's only ability 1. And we'll see Luke here swing at Colonel Wolf. And I'd be very surprised if he misses. Yep, there you got him with the 5. It's probably not a Skywalker's, because he's only going to have 2 destiny left to draw, so might be the other reason he didn't waste the Han, is he needed the Luke for the Saber and the Clash of Sabers. So he's 8 plus a destiny to Mark's 3. There's a 4. So 12 to 3. Those guys are both forfeit 0. So Mark's going to be peeling 9 here. as he can't draw the fire, stopping him from playing a Gick. So this is going to be a little bit painful. This is why, especially in this era, I think those guys should have gone on the ships. Like, I think you throw your dudes on the ships, flip your objective, and if all that's happening is you're getting drained for 2 on the ground and you're retrieving an ISB agent every turn, you're pretty happy with that, because you're certainly doing more than 3 on the ground. Brad picks a couple up, picks it all up. That must be looking for something now. Mark's only got 5 cards in hand. Vader can't do anything this turn anyways. So, unless he's got a bunch of ISB agents, he's got to do something here, because this is not gonna get there for him. So, if you're enjoying seeing the retro content, seeing the different formats getting played, definitely check out the Star Wars CCG PC forums. Check out GEMP, where there's always games in pretty much every format you want. There's a tournament coming up on Sunday, actually, with the Ahsoka Tano tournament. I believe there's 10 people signed up now, as I just signed up about an hour and a half ago while I was at sitting in the parking lot at my kids' lacrosse practice. Got signed up, and the winner is going to get an Ahsoka Tano box. And if you haven't had a chance to see the gorgeous deck boxes the PC has made over the last couple of years, you owe it to yourself to go check them out. A couple drains going on the ground here, just a Come Here You Big Coward coming out of hand, and probably another wasted card, basically. Something Mark's not going to be able to get a lot of use out of. But a lot of stuff going on right now. Later this month, a charity retro event will be going out. There's an Evader as well. I think he canceled the only Revolution that's been in play and probably doesn't expect to see too many more. But the retro charity event will fire, and that's going to be a awesome time. I believe that is Premiere through Special Edition, so it'll be even a little more throwback than you're seeing here. So you won't see Endor, you won't see security precautions, but really bring back that era of Star Wars where, like, one big main was a serious problem. Like, Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, is not an easy thing to take out right now. Brad knocks Evader out of play with the out of commission, which I can't imagine Mark's terribly crushed about. Like, that's not a huge deal. So Vader can battle or move starting now. Wonder if Brad drew into his other Clash of Sabers, or he's going to have something going on here. Mark activates all but 2. I haven't seen him doing anything to track. Like, wouldn't be terrible if he had something fun to, if he'd have 5 there and choke out Leia, kill Luke to Battle Destiny, and call it a wash, especially if he can get some. I don't really like that play. I just don't see a lot of benefit with that. Blizzard 2 coming down as well. Like, you get a Destiny against Twaska. I mean, you'll win you'll beat him in power, but it's not really getting a lot out of it. And Mark and Brad playing the signal, so he's got a 5. He's going to track that 5 around for next turn. We'll see if he only activates 8. There's Evax piloting Blizzard 2, which is nice. I mean, you're not flipping your objective yet. Like, basically, you're going to trade Jabba for Twas, and that's cute. And maybe you don't lose Jabba if he draws low, but, like, I don't even battle and just move Vader away. I'm not a huge fan of that play. You know, you're gonna lose a force to draw their fire because certainly Brad's coming after Blizzard 2 there with something, even if it's just like a Han and Chewie type combo. And you're just not getting much out of it. So I think Mark needed drain. Oh, Mark is getting a little spicy. Going for the blind trample and getting grabbed right away with the push on us as Brad activated all of it. Did not save down to the track 5. And misses on the trample. Anyways, so to be honest, I think I would have liked to see him do that before he. I would have liked to see him put down Blizzard 2 and Evax and not Jabba, and see if he hit the trample and play his turn a little differently, because like Blizzard 2's got the immunity. Evax still forfeits for 5. Like, it wouldn't have been the worst thing ever to leave him there. Oh. Brad's got so many cards in hand and a decent amount on table. He's probably feeling a little bit pinched. He's only got 14 cards down. So switching up Twas and Obi-Wan simply because Obi-Wan soaks a little more power and a lot more forfeit. So Obi soaks 13 plus his Destiny, which Mark would have to eat a chunk of. So now, interesting question. Vader's sitting in the war room there, where if he initiates, he adds a Battle Destiny. So even if you don't have your choke going, if you can get a Destiny of 8 out of those 2, you still clear that site. And it looks like Mark activated down to. He left 3, and we know the bottom card of that is a 2, which I really don't like. Okay, there was Battle Plan out of hand. So yeah, Brad decided he didn't want to. He didn't want to pay for drains either, as he's only got 11 cards down. Victory class going to Fondor. Mark, you need dudes. Ships aren't getting you there, son. This is you need ISB agents. You need to flip and start threatening stuff, because this isn't going to get you there. And just shuffling Vader back. Assuming he'll have Jabba jump on and shuffle over to the farm. Same reason, there's no reason to start a battle at the swamp, and I guess the swamp costs a ton to battle at, which I forgot last turn. So this is, nobody in chat yelled at me, so I didn't catch that when it occurred. Brad playing the signal again. I don't think he wants to do something with that 5, or maybe he just wants to just get those cards out of him. He's got 18 cards in hand. That might be the only way he can cycle anything, as Mark's drawing a few more, but he's not leaving a force to threaten anything. And Brad's only got 12 cards down, but he's got 18 in hand. So Brad's got 30 force to Mark's 21. Mark's going to have to catch up here, because he's only got one ISB agent on table right now. So he throws away the cave from hand. Probably a smart play. He doesn't need the activation there. 15 is more than sufficient. There's a Han with Twaska. Now Han can't target characters and creatures. So that was the thing, the EPP guns. You can't target the walker, but if he can get a second Destiny there, because I think his 5 is 1 card down. I wonder if he's holding that for a sense or something along those lines, as he's retrieving a 5 there as well, getting back Battle Plan. As he starts the battle, Mark's going to lose a Torture from hand. Twaska predicts Mark to be the winner as he's up by 3. Probably a solid prediction. He's going to shoot at Jabba, and then that's why he left extra 1. Shoot at Jabba. Ah, he missed. So if you hit Jabba, then he's forfeit 0, and that 5 cracks the immunity of the walker. And makes things a little spicy for Mark, figuring out what he wants to do as he draws a 5 there. And a total power of 12, but Jabba is forfeit 5, and he'll just soak that up without a problem. Mark draws a 2 for Battle Destiny. So Twaska is immune, but Han isn't. And looks like with the battle tying, Brad has to lose 1 to Twaska. He's counting on Mark drawing a little bit better Destiny there. That's you don't always count on that with ISB. ISB's Destiny is routinely there's usually so many characters that are a little low. Now, Mark, you got to lose Jabba here. He's not immune yet. You got 7 cards in hand. 3 of them need to be ISB agents, so you can get a flip here. Assuming Brad's going to use his last couple force and move. He's just going to move Luke in front of Vader, and then Obi over with Han. What's he doing here? Yep, there's Luke going in with Vader. I don't think he can leave Han alone. Like, Han's not drawing anything. Yep, there he's moving Obi-Wan in with Han, which makes sense. Like, if Mark can keep steady here, he's got a chance to make things interesting. If he knew he had a 6, where he had a 6, it'd be a spicy little fight to take out Vader, or take out Luke with Vader. But I don't think Mark's got that right now. Drains 1 at Fondor. Brad's got 16 cards in hand. I'm sure he can find something that's not going to cripple him. Yep, there's an Obi with lightsaber, which makes sense. I don't think that one that's on table is going anywhere. Drains at Kessel as well. Wouldn't be shocked to see another EPP go here from hand. There's just no... Lando instead, yeah. There's no reason to hold on to him right now. Those guys aren't doing you any good. And I think Mark might have figured out, hey, Brad might not be able to contest in space without those Falcons. So let's see what he does here. There's a probe droid on Blizzard 1. I like that. Or Blizzard 2. I like that play. Like, just get some agents down. Get your 4 agents down and flip your objective. Like, that's what you need to do right now. So, and Outer Rim Scouts. Like, interestingly enough, those non-unique sites, even though they're at Yavin, don't count as rebel base locations. So, okay. So he starts the battle to retrieve Jabba, which is cute. I mean, I don't hate it. You're not gonna get anything out of it there. Brad's cycling another 5, which is actually... Ooh, so now he knows he's got 5-4 right on the bottom. That's good for him to know where those are for next time. See if Mark's got a 6 there to choke out. That's the opposite of a 6. Actually would have failed to choke a droid, oddly enough. So Brad's going to swing back. He's got the 5. Was the next one a 1? It was, yep. So he misses there. He's running enough 5s through there. He's got a chance to kill Vader with attrition, but I'm not entirely sure. If I'm Mark, I might want to lose Vader to attrition anyways, simply to avoid him getting beat down. So Brad's drawing. All right, Brad did have the 5 there. So not entirely sure if I was Brad. I wouldn't have just not drawn if he had another way to go after Vader. Because once he drew the 2, you're going to lose Luke either way. and you just leave Vader, force Vader to sit there so you can go at him and retrieve withdraw their fire. So, Brad, Mark moves away, draws a couple more cards. New Brad start the turn. Like Brad's gonna get a drain on 1 here. Yeah, activating down, so he's got blank. Oh, he's activating all of it. All right, so he wasn't activating to the. Not gonna try and track the 5/4. I think he's gonna just try and set up a little bit more. Try and figure out a way to push more damage through, because if Mark's got another ISB agent, you just load them all on that Blizzard and keep things going, because once he flips it, as long as he keeps an ISB agent on table, he's happy. There's an all power to weapons. That's really good card with ties, but feels a little disjointed in here. There's a Luke going in front of Blizzard 1, but is he just going to move Han over and threaten? Like, if I'm Mark, I'll just avoid Luke and Han. Like, fine, I'll go move in front of Obi-Wan. You stack that walker, you eat the drain, and don't worry about it. Moving Leia into the throne room, which makes sense because her sitting in the war room, Mark could theoretically drop any spy, start a battle, and take her out with the Battle Destiny. So now they're that out of commission going. Again, gets rid of the all-power to weapons. Like, he hasn't gotten any ISB agents out of there. But Mark really hasn't lost a ton of ISB agents. Mark's deck is lighter on characters than I would have thought. So Mark is down to 17 force total, 10 down. Brad's got 11 down and 25 total. So Mark's made up a couple force over a couple turns. Like, he's really, he's draining for 2 and getting drained for 1. Like, you play long enough, you'll make that up, but it's certainly not a gimme. As Brad loses Courage of a Skywalker from hand, and probably something else. He's still got a lot of cards. Oh, there goes the signal. A little surprised at that, just because he could have cycled that back when he might be down to wanting to use the cards. Oh, using the probe droid to peek at a random card. I like it. So, and shocking info. Ouch. That might have just sealed it. 4 cards and losing the probe droid might end up being more than Mark can make up. We'll see what he loses here. The SFS cannon from hand. I can't shake him from hand. Jabba's Space Cruiser. And a Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith. So, yeah, I can't shake him if he'd dropped a thing. Okay, the Karita system. Why? And Bosking the Tooth to add another drain, I guess, and move Blizzard 2 away. Like, you need dudes to flip your objective, Mark. Assuming we'll see Blizzard 2 walk its way over to the farm. Yep, Mark's spreading out a little bit because Brad's still not really doing a ton of damage. And, like with Blizzard 2 here, Brad battles with Obi-Wan. Really, his best case scenario, if Brad starts the battle, is retrieve 1, withdraw their fire, lose Obi-Wan, and Mark loses Evax. And that's fine. Like, he needs to get more guys out. But Mark's making it close. There's under attack. Ooh. So Obi-Wan's got the saber. The 4. That makes it a 7 total. Well, does not get the 8 for the armor, but does give Brad a 6 if he feels like getting spicy. There's a Chewie for basically just a power and forfeit soak. He's got a 5 sitting there. Yep, here's the draw their fire to retrieve 1. Make Mark lose 1. Yep, draws the 5 for Destiny, which is just going to be Evax, and That's fine. Mark draws a... Oh. Honestly, that's... almost doesn't matter that much. I mean, it stinks because now he's down a little bit more in power. Like, okay, you can use... He has one card in hand, and he just left an empty walker. I guess you can walk it over to the Massassi headquarters and start training there. Yep, Obi moves to the headquarters. Chewie. Han moves over to accompany Chewie, so Brad's thinking ahead, like, yep, you're going to move your walker. You're going to move it into me. But Brad is going to eat a drain of 4 here, which isn't something he wants to take long term. So let's see what Mark has going on here. He activates 6 and saves 2, so I feel like he's got something to go with here. There goes a Leia with gun from hand. The drain at Karita. Drain at Rendley. This is an alter. Yep, there's nothing that's going to get altered. So 6 is not enough for Vader, and he already lost the Vader from hand. There goes a clash to the Fondor drain. And a drain at Kessel. Loses another Obi-Wan here. I mean, Brad's starting to hit kind of critical mass because he's just not doing a ton of damage. There's the Outer Rim Scout on top of onboard Blizzard 2. And I assume just walk him over to the... I don't like that play at all. Unless you're just going to figure you're going to pitch them both and call it a day, I guess. There's a 3 for Destiny. Basically doesn't matter. So he's got 9 forfeit here. So he'll be fine. You lose. Yeah, he's down 6. You lose the walker. Kill the Outer Rim Scout in the process, and you're fine. And then now you're just trying to drain race. And you're doubling up on drains because you're hitting him for 4 to his 2. And you've got 7, 8, 9 cards down, so you got 4 turns. He's got 11, 12, 18 cards. So he's got 3.5 turns. Like, it's going to be real, real close. I think as it stands here, Brad wins a very small amount. Yeah, JNAP, you're right. Mark should be moving a Star Destroyer there and just continue that spread out. Don't actually, he can't get... if he moves a Star Destroyer there, he gives up the Rendley drain because Fondor to Rendley doesn't get you there. So he needs a better... he needs another ship. If he's got a ship in hand that he can drop at Rendley and then move the Star Destroyer to Coruscant, that'd be good. But he may not have that anymore. Yeah, if he'd have moved that earlier. Mark just saying if he wouldn't have made that mistake with shocking info, this would be close. Honestly, if he doesn't make that mistake with shocking info, I think he wins the game. It's going to be super close, but I do think Brad is just slightly ahead here because he's got 3, well, 7-4 is technically he's got 4 turns left, and he's going to drain him. Yeah, he's going to fall too short. So, and yeah, Brad commenting in chat that shocking info made a massive difference. That might have been game breaking. So unless Mark's got some way to pump up the drain damage, and at this point anything he puts down is also going to cost him a force he could use for something else, which will hurt. So yeah, Brad doesn't even bother, or Mark doesn't even bother activating. He's just going to drain for 4 and run it out. And I feel like it wouldn't shock me at all if Brad's sitting on the edge just to make sure he could stay alive in a race like this. He's tracking a 6 around, and honestly even a 4 at this point. Getting back 3 would be a solid amount. So it's going to be, looks like it'll be a close game with some, definitely some cards that you don't see a lot in open anymore. I mean, we saw Grimtosh, Monarch, the out of commissions, which are always a fun way to mess with people. The shocking information, which was huge, and the nudges. It's a fun format. There's a lot of good things, and the decks all move a little bit slower. So there's other stuff that's still a little bit viable. Like this ISB is, it's kind of a slow build, just plink, and it works well, and especially against something like this, there's Battle Plan that'll end it. Because Mark can only pay for 1 drain now, and Brad's still able to keep paying. Yeah, I think we might see a concede here from Mark, or Mark just, fine, I'll activate and I'll make you earn it. But that Battle Plan that'll put the nail in the coffin. He can't pay for those drains anymore. Yeah, Mark with the GG. Definitely a fun game. Glad everybody could, hope you all got to enjoy having some fun watching some retro Star Wars on a Friday night. Probably for the best. I don't think I was showing up on camera because, no one really wants to see me. But thanks everybody who watched. I hope you all had a good time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope everybody who can, take a look at signing up for the Ahsoka tournament on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a good time to be able to play Star Wars cards, and being able to play at home. Our newest Hall of Famer, Chris Schoenthal, will be the TD, keeping things moving and getting everybody going. But I will sign off here. Thank you all for coming. Hope everybody had some fun, and I will see you next time.